let's talk about Lilo and Stitch. I had a chance to watch Lilo and Stitch, and I'm the only one that's not a dad. So, squeaks down there with a
Squeezes big
gigantic,
old-
and he messes with the
Guys are
straw.
a lot.
You see, he's firing on all cylinders today, guys. Let's do a Q&A on this one. I'll go real quick over the beginning, but if you guys have any questions, we'll do that next.
Mhm.
So first of all, it's a cute movie. Stitch is funny. Lilo's funny. She's, cute kid. They did change the ending. They removed a very important person. They made one person a bad guy that wasn't a bad guy beforehand. So there were some changes that if you were strictly a fan of the old movie, you're probably not going to be a fan of this. But I will say, if you're bringing Marco or Sophia or Kyrie to this, you're gonna have a blast, and they're gonna love all the cute stuff on screen. I will say though, like as a millennial, there were times where like, why did you have to change that character, or why is that ending this way now?
Is it Jamba is more bad than you think?
Jamba. Spoiler alert! I'll spoiler alert, guys.
Spoiler, so
Jamba is the villain.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in the movie, he always was like science first and humanity
Yes.
last, but he changed throughout the course of the movie. But I could see that little tweak would change it a lot. So they didn't have to use the shark head guy then, right?
He's completely removed.
Okay, yeah, I thought that's a stretch to make him in a live action movie. I was wondering how they're going to make that work, but then he wasn't in any of the trailers too. So it's like, okay, they probably just chopped him out.
I think that
okay.
sucks though, because like Lilo, yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Sharkhead guy looks so cool. And Jamba becoming good, and then I can't remember the other guy's name, but like there's also a thing where it's like, yeah, he's less dorky and fun. Like he's still kind of a little bit whimsical, but like before, like when they used to be like, I used to love when they used to be like the married couple. They'd pretend to be the married couple. He's dressed in like some crazy dress, whatever. They don't allow any of that whimsy in this. It's kind of a lot more toned down, and he just basically Jumbo's just like shitting on him the entire episode or entire movie. So really, it's not great. Galifianakis plays him, and I mean he does a serviceable job, but it's just not as fun when he does it. Like I was waiting for him to make a turn the entire movie. I was like, when's he gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be a good guy now? Nope, he's just the bad guy. Yeah,
Man, yeah, that's kind of disappointing.
yeah. So like, right, the millennial type, whatever goes into this movie, we're gonna be kind of like disappointed because of these changes, or does it end up keep being like if you kind of separate the original, does it end up being okay?
I will say for the first part of the movie, you're like, man, this is almost a shot for shot recreation, especially like when they're like, he's just escaping, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then it definitely diverts. And I think as a millennial, you'll appreciate this as a different movie than the first one, almost like a new take on Lilo and Stitch. If you keep that in mind, you're going to be fine. I think there are a lot of people who are going to be upset because they might be like, well, why did you guys not stick to the heart of the first movie? This one leans in a lot more of like, loss and trauma with the parents passing away and stuff like that. Like that's obviously a bigger deal in this movie than it is in the first one. The ending with the sister Nani I disliked, but it is like what would happen in real life.
What, the portal thing, or what is it?
No, the portal thing is something
Oh.
that's just them having fun with it. That's like something different.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, but like what literally happens with Lilo and Nani at the end of this is very, in my opinion, not fun compared to what so it's like, hey, it's a Disney movie, what's possible. No, but what would actually happen in real life is actually what happens. So that kind of happens. Yeah. Any other questions for this one, guys?
Did Jamba and Pleakley were mostly not themselves, right? They used CGI for a couple scenes to show what they look like, and then they used some kind of technology to look normal, look like humans, right?
Yeah.
Did that seem like it ruined their characters? To me, that seems like the most fun part is that they're trying to blend in all the time. But if they have an easy way to blend in, then what's the point if there's no hijinks?
Because so Jamba towards the end goes back to being just fully himself, and then Pleakley, like I think that the guy that got for him, Billy Magnuson, he's been in a lot of things where he is kind of this character. He has just a very comedic face, so he does a good job of kind of being silly just by standing there with a goofy bike hat on. So that works well. And of course, the budget too. It helps with the CGI stuff too. The CGI in this is not stellar, so it isn't that bad when it's not on screen.
Yeah, I think it's a super missed opportunity to be funny, right? Because kind of like the cartoon, like I would have loved to just see like Jumbo put a mustache on, and you're like, oh my gosh, he's just a normal human, like
yeah, if
we're
he's
looking
like
at
walking around and on the street, that'd be hilarious.
exactly. But then like if he rips it off, you're like, oh my god, puts it back on, like, oh yeah. I feel like that was a super missed opportunity.
There's a little bit of that with Stitch being a dog, because there was a lot of like, you sure that's a dog? He just spoke, stuff like that.
Yeah. See, like, man, I feel like it's just missed. Now, also, I heard a little bit with this whole Mr. Bubbles, right? So he's a little different, and he's not like the same type of character, right?
Yeah, Cobra Bubbles is not cool. The other one was like a hunter, like that first.
Yeah.
This one feels a lot more, he's more of a social worker, and like he's undercover working for CIA. He's just not as cool. Yeah, that's
because I really like that the original, right? Like this Men in Black.
Ving Rhames, he was played by Ving Rhames.
Yeah.
Like, bring back Ving Rhames. Why is he's still alive? He's doing fine. He was just in Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
For this.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll try to separate it when I go.
That's key. And if you do it, the main thing is I think your girls are going to like this. I think it's going to be fun for them to watch. The kid's cute. And I think she literally reminded me of your daughters. So I was like, oh, they're going to love this. This is going to be fun for them. And like, it's got some really good casting. Amy Hill, who's been on like 50 First Dates and stuff like that's in this, and she's hilarious. There's a lot of really good people. It's just that when compared to the original, keep in mind the story does shift.
Yeah.
Any other questions before I get my grade on this thing?
No.
Chris Sanders is back to play Stitch himself, so it is the original voice, which is nice.
Yeah, for that.
All right, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. It's fun to watch, but
than what I've been seeing.
Yeah, and that chalks up to the fact that I think there was some missed opportunities, and I think that there were certain things that were like, well, because this is a kid's show, that makes sense. But if this was geared towards any other, they would like, oh, how many loopholes or plot holes are there in this situation? Keep that in mind. So 6 out of 10, but it's kind of like I was a 7, and the more I think about it, it slipped to 6.
I do have one more question then, follow up. Do you think this was necessary or worth it? And do you think we should keep trying to see this kind of live action remake of animated movies?
So was it necessary? No. Do we need to keep seeing these live action remakes? No, because like they're starting to do Tangled and Frost, and like those just came out, compared to others. So I don't think so. It's just money being made.
Oh my God, hold on. It took me a second. You said Frost.
He meant Frozen.
Frozen, sorry.
I was going to say, man, what the fuck is Frost?
Yeah, Jack Frost with Michael Keaton.
That would be great.
Hey,
No, but I will say what might come out of this that is good is it was so successful in the box office. They're talking about making Lilo and Stitch sequels. And so if we could use that to get the series a story where it's like random new aliens are popping up, because there is a mention of like, oh, I'm going to turn you into, I think it's 40, he is 46. I'm going to turn you into 47. And we see an outline of one from the show. And I was like, oh shit, that's cool that they're referencing the show. So if they were to use sequels to do the show storylines, that would be dope. Then this has all been worth it,
Or make it into a live action series or animated series if it's too expensive to do live action. But the old animated series was great. Let's bring that back.
One of the better ones.
Yeah, but it did have Gantu. It was Gantu and one of the experiments that were hunting the rest of the experiments the whole time. Yeah. So you have to reframe that a little bit.
Unless that was a segue to the series and people now have this interest in Lilo and Stitch. It's been so many years from the series being releasing that people will go back to the series and kind of like continue that story.
Yeah.
I can see that too if they're not going to spend money on it.
I love that. I don't remember if what number he was, the one that worked with Gantu, but his skill, I'll have a special skill. His was just making sandwiches. Remember that?
Yeah.
He's all yellow. I'm like, that's such a unique ability, but every once in a while it comes in handy.
I need that in my life.
Great.